Beautiful day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fishing with Sigma. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to do the real review of Mystery Tackle Box. Today we have the Elite Edition that we're going to unbox, open it up, and what we're going to do is a little bit different from some of the other reviews you may have seen. What we're going to do is a financial breakdown on the second half of this to see, is this something that not only provides a good service with the type of lures and the quality and diversity of the lures that they have, but is it something that is financially a benefit to you? You know, there's a lot of anglers who like to do budget videos, budget challenges, and then we'll spend $50, $60 a month on getting tackle. So if we're going to spend that, we need to see, are we really getting our money's worth? So that's what we're going to break down in the video today. Hey baby, can you get me a knife?
Here you go.
What is this?
It's a knife. That's
not a knife. This is a knife.
Really? Can you open a box with that? Okay. Alright, Crocodile Dundee.
Let's see what we have, guys. So opening it up, this is pretty nice. Let's say we were taking this out on the water with us, which a lot of people just bring the box in and then they go. It has a scale on here, which is pretty nice. So when you catch that monster bass, that huge fish, you can go ahead and go up to probably about 21, 22, maybe 23 inches. So probably all the way to the end, 24, I imagine. So you have a 2-footer that you can potentially scale out and show all of your friends. It says catch and win at the top. Catch a fish by using one of the baits in the box. 2, measure. Use the ruler to see if you have a keeper. 3, share. Share a picture of your fish on Instagram using the hashtag MTBkeeper. Oh, so it's nice. So they're incorporating some social media stuff in there as well. So it's pretty current with today's times. But this is nice. There's some promotional stuff with Shop with Carl, which is a separate service, same company, but they have, instead of giving you a mystery box, select lures, reels, rods, and different tackle that you can get, but you select it as you like it. So that's pretty interesting. In here, first thing I see is looks like a dibble, tips and tricks from MTB, a little handout here. Celebrate every fish. There's like a little find the YouTuber. Maybe we'll get our name on there one day. We'll see. And it talks about fly fishing and all kinds of stuff. So we'll put that to the side. It's interesting. That's not the real review that we're doing today. Okay, so this is actually helpful. So in here, they have a product name and an MSRP. So I'm imagining they're using these to get that figure, you know, whether it's 40, 50 bucks, they're using these figures themselves. So that's pretty nice. And it gives you a nice little inventory of what you have. We're gonna check those prices and see if there's any chance that we can get these things at a cheaper price, a discounted price, or to see if we're really getting the lowest price possible. There's a little Catchco sticker, which I dropped, so you know, it is what it is. Soft plastic lures. So there's a 2-pack hook, 4.0. These look like they're EWG extra wide gap. It doesn't say that on here, but just from the look of it, I've never seen Mustad make a 2-pack. So I'm wondering if they just made that specifically for this box or not. Continue with the unboxing here. This is pretty interesting. A Lunker Hut prop frog. So this frog has like 2 propellers on its legs, which will make some additional action in the water. So that's pretty nice, pretty interesting there. It's a black top, white and yellow bottom there. So really the bottom isn't the only thing that the fish are really going to see. Also in here, let's see, we have a Japanese Takahiro Omori. This looks like a relatively deep diving crankbait here. That looks pretty cool. Let's see. It's a 1.5 flake male gill is what it says. But it doesn't say what kind of depth that it goes to. That's pretty nice. It's like this very sparkly, off-green, dark green bluegill, red-eyed. It's a nice little version of that. All right, so also in here we have some D nails. These are 1/8 ounce nails here. And those are used for various weights to help sink certain rig setups in your plastics. So those are probably like the most expensive nails that you're ever gonna find though. Any nail will do, it doesn't have to be those specific nails, that's for sure. In here we have another crankbait. This is called the Runt. This one looks like Ketchco brand. He may be small, but he sure is feisty. Fish this little bass slayer with your rod tip down to let it dive, or fish it with your rod tip up to wake it on the surface. So medium action rod, 8 to 14 pound for carbon is what it's saying it likes you to have. Again, it doesn't say how deep it's rated for. So a lot of these crankbaits are going to be like, depending on how big the bill is, which is going to allow for it to dive down in the water, maybe 2 to 4 foot, or you may have a 6 to 8 foot, or you may have a extremely deep diver, which is 10 foot. So I always like to know how far am I expecting, because that helps you decide which one you'll want to fish depending on the body of water you're on. We also have some plastics in here, so this is pretty nice. This is called Big Bite Company, Big Bite Baits, fortified with bait juice. That sounds yummy. So very soft plastic. It's almost like I don't know what color they're calling it. Let's see if they have a specific color on here. It's almost like a really flaky, sparkly June bug. So it's like a dark green color with blue, yellow, purple flakes in here, and also some silver flakes. It's a really interesting color. I'm sure it will look good and get good reflection off, and how hot it, or how bright and sunny it is out here. I'm opening this up. It actually has like this really interesting middle. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Because this isn't just a normal creature bait. If you look here, it actually has a hole going through either side. This is a deeper hole on this side, and then the other side it has a smaller niche there. And I'm wondering if that's just used for like Texas rigging, because it's not enough to put another bait in there. So I'm wondering if that's just like some guide marks to use for Texas rigs. Maybe that will keep your bait alive and intact. So maybe it's a more durable bait. So I'm actually really interested in trying that out. That seems pretty interesting. So that's the Big Bite Baits, soft plastic bug bait. Okay, so we have some, wow, all right. So I could have used this the other day. We were fishing in all those lily pads. We have a spool of 100 yards braid. It's a moss green color. It's actually a break strength of 50 pounds. So that's pretty strong there. I haven't heard of this company before, but I'm new to bass fishing, and this is a heavier braid, so I wouldn't have used it for crappie fishing. But it's Cortland Braid Master. It's the Gold Series. It says it consistently performs cast after cast. We're gonna have to try this out and put that to the test. Test, you get it? Line, braid, test. All right. Let's see. It doesn't say if it's like a 4X or 8X braid. That's the only thing that I wish it did say on here, just to give people an understanding of how the braid is actually formulated. I think that's helpful for me. And last but not least, we have another creature bait in here. So this is a Strike King. I had a Strike King hat somewhere around here. Strike King, Rage Tail. So Big Attitude soft baits. This is a Rage Toad, it says. So that's a pretty interesting bait there. We'll take it out the plastic and get you a good view of that. We'll see if we can describe the color, see what the Rage is all about. So it's definitely got a more premium look to it. Individually wrapped, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. It has a guideline similar to the other bait, and I imagine that's just to keep your line like straight on, because sometimes you can anchor, if you're doing a Texas rig, a little bit off to the side. And if these are balanced in the water a certain way, it's going to be most efficient that certain way. That's pretty good action on that tail though. If you see that moving in the water as you're cranking, both of those fins are going to be going. So I'm sure this will have a pretty nice attraction. And you can pull these, you can separate the tail apart and get even more action there. So that's pretty nice. This is like a dark green, sort of like a green pumpkin, but this has a lot of red and some black flakes in it. So that's pretty interesting. I'm sure this would be good for a darker water, very murky water, cloudy water. All right, so now we're going to get into a financial breakdown. What we're going to do is look and see where everything is MSRP'd at right now from what they've rated their stuff, and to see how they get their classification of, you know, this is a value at this amount. So we're going to get our computer ready here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check to see where they've calculated everything at. So the first thing on here, that braid they have at $13.99. The Lucky Craft RTO, so that one is the bluegill imitation, is $12.99. The frog is $9.99. The other crankbait is $6.99. The Catch Co. The Toads soft plastics are $5.99. The Big Bite Bait Fighting Frog, so those are the other creature baits that they have, is $5.49. The weights, the nails, are $3.59, so you can obviously get cheaper nails than that. And then the 2 hooks is $180. That's really high, I feel like, for 2 hooks. I'm getting packs of 10, 12, 14 for that price. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That total ends up being $60.83, and I think for the Elite pack, they rated at over $60 in value, so the 83 cents are just a bonus. So we'll see how that compares to our financial breakdown, and who knows, this might be a great financial investment. It's definitely giving you some diversity as far as things that you may not either know to search for on your own, or things that you just never would make the leap for. So I think there's some embedded value as far as that goes. But we're going to see if the financial value adds up with ideally the exact same products, just finding it maybe on different websites online to see where it's readily available, whether it's Amazon or Walmart or Bass Pro Shops. So we're going to get into that next. All right, let me get Bertha out the way here. For the second half, we're going to look at a financial breakdown of some of the things that we just did a visual unboxing of here out of our mystery tackle box. So the first thing we're going to start with right here is going to be our frog. So this is the Strike King Rage Tail. We're looking at $5.49. What we did was we just found the most readily available without having to go too far, too deep as far as the searching goes. What they had this listed at is the Fighting Frog, no, the Rage Tail, $5.99. So, you know, additional 50 cents here. Difference, not much, but it can add up. And sometimes they will have additional promotions on, and again, we're matching the same color to almost the T on all of these. Some of them slight variation, because maybe the color is out of stock or something like that. So, you know, it's pretty close. Next, we're going to look at, so this one is going to be our Rage Tail. prime rib color is what it looks like, but all these colors are running just about the same. So if we go back to the prime rib, we're looking at $449 for the 4-inch. This looks like it's a 4-inch. They had the rage tail at $5.99, so about $1.50 difference there. So not too far off, but a little bit of difference so far. Here's where one is a little bit trickier. So we have the Cortland Master Braid. It's the same gold version. For this one, they're looking at $17.95, but we have 150 yards versus the 100 yards that we have here. So, you know, a slight difference there. Basically, what we're looking at 17, bring out the old trusty dusty. We're looking at $17.95. We're going to divide that by 3. So we're looking at almost $6 per 50. And so we're just going to double that up and say we're getting 100. So right around $12. They had it listed at $12.99. So maybe an additional $1 there. And again, a lot of these places will have little promotions going on. Like this one has free shipping. I think the other one had maybe 10% off first order, that kind of thing. The next one is going to be our Prop Frog. Prop Frog was listed at $9.99. Here we have about $1 difference, and this is just on Tackle Warehouse. So a little bit of difference there. Carl's Bait and Tackle, they listed this at $6.99 as far as their regular price. This is for the runt. Their membership offers an additional 30% discount, which brings it under $5. And they actually have a 1-month free trial going on, so it ends up being cheaper that way. The nail is next. It's our Dobbins nail. We're looking at spot on $3.59 right there for that. Again, these nails, in essence, weighted nails you can get just about at any hardware store, and will serve a very same or similar purpose. There's not too much difference as far as the action. They're, depending on who you ask, you know, these are formulated specifically to be rigged with plastic worms. You know, you don't have to get that special and that fancy. And then our lucky crankbait, our Flake male gill, and you know, different variations in colors, but this is the same one. We're looking at $6.99, and what they had theirs rated at price wise was $12.99. So that's a pretty significant difference on that one. But for the most part, everything else has been the same, and that's the same 1.5 same color Flake male gill. So that same Flake male gill that you'll see there. And that's probably the biggest and most significant difference so far. Lastly, our hooks, the 2-pack, it's listed here at $4.59 here. Basically what we're looking at, if we go back to Trusty Dusty, $4.59. It comes in a pack of 5, so we're looking at 91 cents per each one. We're getting 2, so you're looking at 1.83. So they had theirs at 1.8, so pretty much just taking care of the extra 3-4 cents difference there. Let me make sure we do the right size. Yeah, same size. So yeah, for the most part, as an overview, for the most part, So as an overview, for the most part, I do feel that the mystery tackle box provides some good value. There's some embedded value with, one, not having to look, not having to search for relevant tackle and gear during whatever fishing season, whatever month it is currently. And also just having some diversity as far as the type of things. Maybe you would never think to get a prop frog when you're fishing top water, but maybe that provides an additional value when you're actually out on the water. So there's some embedded value that we can't quite calculate or put a specific figure on. As far as what they've done, as far as mystery tackle box, they've looked at, if I was going to purchase this direct from the manufacturer, not through any distributor or third-party sales, what price would I pay? And that's how they calculated the over $60 in value. So it's completely fair. You can find some of these, as we saw, for example, the Lucky crankbait. You can find that cheaper. And that actually had a significant change. But for the most part, these places are providing, even the third parties providing a small difference, $1 or $2 difference with what the MSRP is from the manufacturer, which Mystery Tackle Box has calculated in their pricing. So ranking out of 5, I would give it a 4.5 as far as total value out of 5. I can't give it a full 5 just because on the cons, we'll say we found the Lucky crankbait significantly cheaper, almost half the price. So you may have a few outliers like that. For the most part, everything was within $1 or so. But on the pros, the thing that we can't quite calculate is the embedded value that we said. Having a mystery tackle box, having relevant things for the season, things that you may not have either known existed or things that you may not have ever taken the step out to purchase yourself. For example, the prop frog is something I can't wait to try out. It sounds super interesting. I don't know if I would have jumped to buy it outside of just the normal standard top water frogs that I'm used to. So I feel like those balance themselves out a little bit. So I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5 as far as the financial value of Mystery Tackle Box. So that wraps it up for today's video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let me know what you think about this review and unboxing, and let me know what you think about Mystery Tackle Box in general. Does it provide a good service for you? Because at the end of the day, everyone's going to be an individual, and if it provides value for you, you definitely want to keep doing it. And it's like I always say, find what you love and do it. Peace.